Hi all, Alice here from Harmony Paper and Art for Artsy Aging with Alice. Before we begin, I'd like to say thank you to the Penticton and District Community Arts Council for providing me with this opportunity to bring this video to you. So let me get the camera down to the table and let's start creating. Today we're going to be making a collage Valentine's card. And before we start, I actually looked up the word collage, and it comes from the French word coller, to glue or to stick together. And it's a technique of art creation by which art results from an assemblance of different forms, thus creating a new whole. I like that. So we take a bunch of old things and we repurpose them to make something new. So usually I'm working on smaller cards like this that come from dollar stores. Have these come in a variety of colors, and they're 4.5 by 6, I believe. I also have one here that's 5.5 by 5. That's kind of a nice bigger size. But if you're like me, you keep envelopes, and I've got lots of them. So I've found a nice big envelope and cut some cardstock to make this large card. It makes a good demonstration. So I have here all kinds of bits and pieces. I call these odds and bobs and bits and sods. I have some tissue paper, some pieces of old cardstock, some sequins and string, some foil paper. I have some paper doilies, and I have some bits and pieces of my handmade paper that are kind of rough, and I have some strips and pieces I've cut out from some of my flow painted cards. Yeah, so there's lots of little pieces. I have a couple of stamps here that I use, but you can also cut around a piece of cardstock, just draw out a heart and use this as a template to draw around and cut out hearts. I looked to see if I had some washi tape, and all I have is really kind of spring stuff, which will be nice for an Easter card, but not really good for a Valentine's card. So before we start, I'm going to put all this aside for a minute, and I'm going to get my glue stick ready and my scissors ready. But I just wanted to show you a little collage tip. I have here a little piece of music paper that I cut out, and I have a roll of dollar store packing tape. Oh darn if I didn't lose the end one, I didn't mean to. So I'm going to cut a piece of this packing tape, a little bit bigger than my piece of my music paper here, and I'm going to put it down on top of here and rub it down onto the picture. I want to make sure it's totally covered. So if you have a bigger picture, you could use more, you could stack your pieces of tape to cover it. Then I'm going to cut around the edges, take off the excess tape until I'm left with something that looks like, oh, I guess I better do this. I'll cut this all out till there's no excess tape on there. Get all that out of my way. And then I'm going to put this in a little bit of water. Now this doesn't work with glossy paper or with laser printed paper, but it does work with jet ink paper. So that's kind of your average printer. Now you let this soak in the water for a little bit. And I have another one here that I already soaked earlier, so I could show you. Let me see if I can find some paper something I can put under this. Here, I can use this. Now what you want to do is take the shiny side with the tape and put it down and start rubbing your finger on the other side to remove the paper. And what you end up with, sometimes you got to dip your finger in and make it a little more wet there. You keep rubbing it off and rubbing it off. I won't make you sit through that whole process. Here's one I did earlier. So I rubbed off all the paper, and you can see that what I'm left with is just a clear piece of plastic with the picture that I had on there. I got most of the paper off. So I think I might use this in my collage today. And yeah, actually I thought I got more paper off, and now that it's dried up I can see I missed a little bit. But that's all right, it still works for what I want to do. So I'm going to make my card fairly simple, I think, today. I like this paper with the gold on it. It's not really Valentine's-y, but it's kind of, I don't know, shiny. I like it. So we're going to put it down here on the bottom with our glue stick. We're going to put this down. Going to rub it all down. A glue stick is the best to use when you're using paper like this. If you're using white glue, it ends up wrinkling your paper, kind of wrinkles and warps. And this helps to be able to put down the edges clearly. Make sure all the little corners are glued down and the edges. Sorry for my hands in the way there, folks. Now I think I might add, I think just a square of this paper, kind of like this. Maybe we'll find one that's not got glue marks on it. Something like this. And I'm just going to rub some glue on it. Try to get the corners, the edges. And I'm going to put that about here. And I think I'm going to take a little bit of here. This looks interesting. This is some of my handmade paper. It's kind of coarse. And if you notice what I'm doing, there is no right and wrong way to do a collage. It's whatever calls to you or speaks to you, or whatever you feel like using, whatever appeals to you. But it's nice to use a contrast in rough paper and smooth paper and shiny and dark and light and round and square. Just because the human eye likes opposites. So I'm going to put a little round on here. I'm not sure where I want this. Let's see. I think I'm going to put it right here in the corner. And I'm going to put my musical notes here somewhere. I'm just doing the same thing, putting the glue stick on the notes. Let's see, make sure I got it the right way, because I'm not really a musician. And I'm going to put it, partly on the paper and partly off. There. So you can see some of the notes in the red and some in the white. And then I'm going to take a black felt pen, which I have here somewhere, I'm sure. Maybe a dark blue felt pen. And I'm going to put, "You make my heart sing." And I'm going to add a little heart. Let's put it here. Kind of interesting on top of there. And I think that's enough for my card for today. I have some other samples that I made here to show you. This one's a little more intricate, more layers, different things in here. I have some pictures that I cut out of a calendar. That's another one. I have one here that I made out of flow painted photo paper. That is a different project for flow painting. And I have one here that I actually put masking tape across these, which is a good tip for if you don't have a steady enough hand for making straight lines. It's always great to use the tape to do that for you. And then I found some different colors of red, and I painted each square a different color. Then I went to my little bin of recycling bits and bobs, and I found some things to stamp with. And I actually had put these hearts here to try remove the color after I painted, but it was drying because I was stopping to take pictures, so it stuck there. So I ended up adding more of that. This here is a piece of corrugated backing of a cup warmer for a takeout coffee cup, and these are just the pull tabs that you use when you open up a carton of like almond milk or something. They have that little piece that you pull. I find those handles are helpful. This is the end of a broom holder where my broom handle broke, and I just kept the holder. It's got a great little bit on the top for using to stamp with. So that's a different way of doing that collage, totally. So yeah, there's lots of different ways that you can do this. I'd love to see the results of yours. Maybe you can send us a picture of your idea. There you go. That's our collage Valentine card. See you next time on Artsy Aging with Alice. Bye.